Tyranitar is the Pokemon that we will be building around today. I should mention this is for the current Sword and Shield overused meta, but I will try my best to refrain from popular meta picks. Anyways, Tyranitar in this team has one job, and that is to hit as hard as possible. In order to do this, I will be giving it a choice ban. I'll get into the moveset later, but let's talk about why Tyranitar should be good. It has a monstrous attack stat, and it has some pretty decent bulk. Unfortunately, it has a million weaknesses, so this Pokemon won't really be switching in on too much. The only thing that it really likes switching into is Dragapult, but that depends on the set it's running. So Tyranitar is kind of a niche pick in the metagame, but it will definitely be capable of high damage output. For moves, I went with Crunch, Stone Edge, Fire Punch, and Earthquake. If you wanted to, you could also go with some weird choices such as Hydro Pump, Iron Head, or Dragon Tail. Aegislash is the next member on this team. Some really common types Tyranitar are weak to that are used commonly are Steel, Fairy, and Fighting, so we need a Pokemon that can resist all of these moves. The best option out there is Aegislash. The only downside is Aegislash is weak to ground like Tyranitar, but other members on this team will take care of that. Now, Aegislash could do a couple of things on this team. It could be another attacker, or we can make it defensive. I looked up some recommended sets and I decided Aegislash works so much better as an offensive Pokemon. With stance change, it now has a base 140 special attack, which is only rivaled by Vikavolt, Chandelure, and Corsola. None of these Pokemon have the amount of resistances Aegislash has, and none of them have Steel Beam. This is a super hard hitting Steel type move that will do a lot of damage. Fun fact, it can kill a Clefable twice and a Cleffa 91 times. For moves, I gave it Shadow Ball, Flash Cannon, Steel Beam, Shadow Sneak, and Air Slash. Galarian Weezing is the next member on this team. I wanted a ground immunity that isn't weak to many types, but gives the team some defensive utility. That's why I went with Weezing. This Pokemon is extremely useful to this team. It gets some great supported moves, being Will-O-Wisp, Aromatherapy, Pain Split, Memento, Haze, and even Defog. This Pokemon will be taking the majority of defensive hits on this team, except for one certain fish Pokemon. For offensive moves, this Pokemon gets Overheat, Strange Steam, Sludge Bomb, and I'm pretty sure it gets Thunderbolt. This Pokemon gives us another great switch in to fighting types like Conkeldurr, and it could even take on Pokemon like Clefable. This Pokemon's Psychic weakness is also a non-factor on this team, because we not only have a Psychic type resistance in Aegislash, but a full-on immunity in Tyranitar. For moves, I gave it Strange Steam, Defog, Aromatherapy, and the last move could really be up to you because I forgot to write in a third move. Vaporeon is unexpected, but what I think will be a good fit for this team. While Clefable may be better at this Pokemon's role, everybody uses that thing. Also, Clefable does not resist the fire typing, and more importantly, we already have a fairy type. Also, this team has no water resistance, specifically no resistance to a ugly fish Pokemon that just one-shots everything unless you have an immunity with Storm Drain or Water Absorb. Vaporeon just happens to have Water Absorb, so this is our switch-in for Dracovish. Looking at Vaporeon's stats, they are just mind-blowing in the good way. This Pokemon has more HP and just as much special defense as Clefable. Vaporeon is going to be our special tank, and its move pool may be limited, but it has just enough to get the job done. By this I mean it has a great offensive move in Scald, and this Pokemon can burn the opponent and will be hitting fairly hard because Vaporeon has a pretty beefy special attack stat. For moves, I gave it Scald, Wish, Protect, and Toxic. Hawlucha joins this team because I really wanted a flying type Pokemon because this team is still really weak to ground types. Pokemon like Excadrill, Hippowdon, and Diggersby could give this team a lot of trouble if we only have one immunity and no resistances. Also, when testing this team, if Tyranitar or Aegislash went down, this team would drastically struggle to break through walls such as Clefable, Toxapex, and Ferrothorn. So I figured we also needed a sweeper. Another major issue with this team was speed. Our offensive Pokemon are way too slow and they often got outsped and took too much damage, and that really hurt this team in the late game. Another thing with the two offensive Pokemon were they were barely netting one-hit KOs, but they did 60% plus to a lot of Pokemon. Taking all that into account, Hawlucha is the perfect fit on this team. It's fast and will be a really good cleanup sweeper. It can also set up while doing damage, which is huge. Lastly, Hawlucha resists the fire type, which is always nice to support Tyranitar. For moves, I gave it Sky Attack, Close Combat, Acrobatics, and Swords Dance. Rotom is the last member of this team. I went with Rotom because it is another immunity to ground, and I also wanted a Pokemon that is flexible. Rotom has a very weird stat spread where it can be fast or bulky, but I went with Rotom Cut specifically because it resisted electric and it was not weak to Stealth Rocks. Also, this team struggles to knock out Seismitoad, so having a grass type Pokemon isn't that bad. Also, another issue with this team was momentum. So with Volt Switch, this team can gain the upper hand and start hitting hard. Now you don't have to go with Rotom Cut specifically, you could choose a different form like Heat or even Rotom Wash, but I believe Rotom Cut is the best fit for this specific team. Rotom Cut synergizes very well with Vaporeon, and when getting into sets for Rotom Cut, it can be Choice Scarf for some status moves, or it could be a bulky spread with Will-O-Wisp and Defog. Also, when looking at Rotom, another very nice thing is because of its wide amounts of coverage moves, you can mix and match moves with Galarian Weezing. For example, you can double up on Will-O-Wisp or have one run Defog and the other run, I don't know, Aromatherapy or Paint Split. Those are just some examples. Overall, Rotom Cut gives this team the much needed flexibility, and it could even switch if needed. For this set, I only recommend two moves being Volt Switch and Leaf Storm. The last two can be whatever you feel goes best with this team. Alright guys, that is the video. Tell me what you think of this team. Everything you need if you want to use this team will be in a Pokepaste down below if I remember. Besides that, please tell me which Pokemon do you want me to build a team around next. Besides that, please make sure to watch some more videos, but above all else, have a good day.